No sound in my headphones. Hold on.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody tamper with them. You looking at this right here?
And a couple water.
This one got it.
You want to give
You
it?
got it?
Yeah.
No, I want to salad on the side. Just give me 4 cheeseburgers. If you go get a salad,
What's up, Rev? We on comedy in. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is Soapbox Heroes. How you doing, Houston? What's happening? In the words of some of my favorite people, hey. What's the deal with you guys? I got my phone over here falling on a Tuesday morning. We got John stumbling in late. Maybe he had a show last night. John stumbling late. He got his lokes on. He got his you can't see my eyeball glasses on.
My California
Mixing up the headphones. What's happening with you guys? Hey, out there, Soapbox Heroes in the house. Soapbox Heroes is definitely in the house. I am so glad to be sitting in this seat, pulling on my headphone cords, looking at John stumbling late, and it feels great. Hi, Michelle. Hey, Bobby, what's happening with you? What is going on? Hey, you guys, it's a lot going on in the world today. I have some things that I want to talk to you about. Today, we're not going to just talk about things that are in the headlines. We're going to talk about some things that are just on my mind. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you out there, Houston? If you on your way to work, if you're already at work, look, turn it up just a little bit louder. But if you are at work, don't turn it up too loud because I don't want you to get fired. I don't want you to be like, I hate Tyrone and John. They have me fired. I had it turned up loud. John, what's going on with you today, man?
Not much, man. Glad to be alive up here, running a tad late.
Running a tad late. And John is the one who get on everybody for running late.
Actually, I walked in at 10 o'clock right when y'all pushed everything.
Okay. Definitely not on time.
It's 10:02.
That means you're late.
It does mean I'm
Yeah.
late.
See, John always get on
Nobody
people.
would have known I was late if you wouldn't have said nothing because I was already standing at the mic.
No, this isn't about what anybody else knows and don't know. John, J. Roy, how often do John get on people for what he call black time or black people time or CP time? You see what I'm saying? But the coldest part about it is he's the one who does it.
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? So I got to beat him upside the head with his own words. The things that the man says, sometimes he does when he put other people down about it. So, how was your day, John? How was your night? How was your evening? You came in with your shades on. You had one of them nights.
No, it was a chill night.
Chill,
I
okay.
just hung out.
Mhm.
I did a little bit of work, what I could do on my phone,
Okay.
and I binge watched a couple of shows.
Did you binge watch some shows?
Yeah.
What did you binge watch? What are you watching?
The Amazing Race Canada.
The Amazing Race Canada out there. Look, Facebook. What is it that you watching? Bobby Irvin, my Relly. What's happening? What you watching? What everybody watching? Michelle, what you watching? Rovon, what you watching? What you watching right now on what, Netflix? You watching The Great Race?
The Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race.
It's like a big scavenger hunt.
It's a big scavenger hunt.
Yeah, like Canada. I watched the American one, but they out right now. I watched reality shows.
Yeah,
Survivor.
John is an avid fan of reality shows. I've been trying to figure out why.
It's fun.
And he really enjoys them. And I'm not knocking him. I just don't get it.
Well, it's like people who, like, I don't watch.
Uh-huh.
I don't watch like King of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Game of
I watched the first 2 seasons and then I just stopped watching.
It don't interest me. stuff like that. It's fun to watch.
Okay.
But just sitting down every night and people be having watch parties for it. And I'm like, man, we grown people. Like, let's do something different.
You don't find that stuff that important. But
No,
you'll have a watch party for the
No, I don't do watch parties.
you
like that.
you won't do a watch party
No,
for a
I'll go
reality
to a
show?
movie premiere, but I'm not doing a watch party.
What's
It's
what's
not that serious.
what's your favorite reality show?
Oh, right now?
Right now.
The Housewives of Potomac.
The Housewives of
Yeah,
Potomac. Are you serious?
It just ended the reunion show.
See, I gotta check because this guy's a comedian, so I gotta make sure there's a such thing as
I like the Housewives of Atlanta, but nobody's really housewives except for like Candy and Nene Leakes, but I think they might be on the rocks. Everybody else is like dating or single or bitter. But on Housewives of Potomac, everybody is literally a housewife except for Giselle.
Man, you know what? I'm so out of touch. I'll be honest with you. I don't know about none of the housewives. I don't know about The Amazing Race. I haven't watched a reality show in a while. In fact, I don't even have cable. I'm one of those people that cut the cord. So you know, you really enjoy reality shows if you go out your way to watch it.
Stuff.
You stream them.
Yeah, on like Hulu and stuff that you pay for. And that's how I watch it. But I spend a lot of time like late at night. Like if I'm not doing a show and I'm just up at night, I'll put something on and I can like do like 5 things at one time. So I'll be listening to music, watching the show.
You can't be on time. That's one of the things you can't do.
One time I'm late and I'm gonna hear this forever.
Hey,
listen,
you on CP time.
I'm actually
J-Rod, he on CP time. This boy on CP. You on CP time. If you leave it to John, they gonna say, where you at? You're on CP time.
This morning I was just like lagging behind. I'm not gonna lie. I was waiting for the office to open and I still got here before we started.
He got here when we started. That's not before you started.
When I walked in, Jordan was counting down. That's before we started.
John. You know what we're gonna talk about? It's something that's on my mind, and I want to see where people's heads is. If you got any comments or something that you want to leave, go ahead and leave them here live. And if you're listening on the radio, we are also showing our mugs on Facebook. I know that we definitely have radio faces, but you can see what we look like live on YouTube on my personal page, Tyrone Irvin with a capital E. And this is Soapbox Heroes, and I want to talk about today Black leadership. Black leaders. Leaders in the black community. Do we have leaders in the black community? The dope man. That's what John says.
Like what? Like we do. But
Good morning, Ronald. Good morning.
That's the thing.
Okay.
We have them, but do people know about them? I don't really know about them because I'm not gonna lie. I do not live in the black community.
You do not live in the black community, so you do not know what's going on in the black community?
I know what's going on. That's why I don't live there.
See, but you live up the street from the black community, though. Like,
wrong. I live on a borderline to
look,
where they don't let them over on our
see,
side.
you live in Houston. In Houston, every community is a black community.
I live in an apartment building, but I go to the HOA meetings for the houses across the street.
You hear him? You hear, look, early in the week, see, we got the engineer, J. Roy, in the house, and he over there, and he getting to hear the early Uncle Ruckedness of the week.
No, it's
John
not.
goes to the HOA meetings in the homes across the street because there are more Caucasian people.
No, because I want to hear what they're saying about.
You want to hear what they're saying?
The people around us.
Oh.
They actually be saying what I be saying. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my apartment buildings was really nice. They still are very nice. But when I moved in there, it was like 2 black people in there.
Okay.
And I was one of them. But now, when everybody re-signed their leases, a whole bunch more of us in there, and it's like they started to make our apartment buildings like very bad. I'm not gonna lie, man, whatever.
Go ahead.
Like, I'll be out there picking up trash because I'm like, this don't make sense.
So you're saying that the increase of
it
African Americans
increased by like 80%.
has changed the quality of where you're living.
Yeah, the ratio changes now.
Okay.
80% black and like 20%. Well, like 10% Hispanic and like maybe like 10% white.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this:
And we got one Indian dude.
Is this something that is brought up on by race? You think is that the dynamic that's changing it? Is this not something you've ever seen happen with another race? Have you ever seen?
I've seen it happen with other people, but
Okay.
I literally I'm seeing it happen with my people right now. Like I see people walk to the dumpster and it's open, and instead of throwing it in there when it's not that high, they just drop it in the front and walk off. Like I pick up my dog poop.
Okay.
And they provide bags. But when I'm out there, I see my people's out there with their dogs, just letting them go and walking off.
Right in your front yard?
Yeah, and they always blame me.
You walk outside, you step in a little doo-doo.
No, I get mad when my dogs do that in front of my door. Like, y'all should do that over there because I got to pick this up and the trash ain't right by my house.
Let's see. We got Bobby. He says, black people don't officially have their community. Must say we have the hood, but we don't own the hood. Okay. So yeah. Once again, good morning, Ronald. Good morning, Ronald. Robert Prince. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. And look, we're gonna talk about this. We're about to play a little bit of music, and we're gonna come right back to you, Houston. This is Soapbox Heroes on KHSX Power 101.5 on this Tuesday, and we're gonna talk about that. I want to know black leadership. What does it take? Do we have any? I want names. I want to know their games. We're going to talk about it. J. Roy, play something real quick. We'll be right back.
Hey, number 4 don't work.
The head.
Number 4 don't work.
Yeah, somebody fuck with him down there. I don't know.
Black leaders. Do we have any black leaders? What's up, Bobby?
You can ask the same question. Is there white leaders in the white community?
Are there white leaders in the white community?
Y'all niggas don't be in the white community.
White leaders in a what's that preach Bob Swaggart? What's the pastors? I think
Joe
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rothstein.
Joe Rothstein. Joe Osteen. Is Joe Osteen the leader in the white community? Well, is he? I don't know. Joe Osteen might be a leader in the black community. That church down the street, you go to Joe Osteen church, it be popping like a spray.
The Lord told me he want 17 people to give me $2,000 for my new rims on my car.
What's up, Bobby? I gotta call you after this, Robert. And besides, ownership does not mean leadership. Great point, Robert Kelly. There's a lot of owners that aren't great leaders, or aren't leaders at all, huh?
You get a chance to do the laptop?
I can't find the software.
Oh,
You got that come with a disc. Then my other computer don't have a disc. Huh? Yeah. No, he's not. Who is he, Liz? Who is he? Is somebody a leader? Joe Osteen. He's not a leader of the white community. I asked that because John asked me in retort. He said, "Do white people have a leader of the white community?" Donald Trump.
That ain't no leader.
Well, of a friend.
I didn't even call him a him.
You called him with that, huh? What's going on? What's going on with you, H-Town? H-Town and whoever around the world, around the country is listening to us on the social medias. You can follow us on Soapbox Heroes on the YouTubes. On the YouTubes, you know that little red icon with the little play button on it? That's YouTube. Go over there. Go to the Soapbox Heroes channel and hit subscribe. And then tap that notification bell so you can be notified when we go live. You know what I'm saying? And we were talking about crack rib comedy. I knew I'd get your attention. We were talking about...
We were talking about leaders in the black community.
Leaders in the black community. So the question is, do we have leaders in the black community? And maybe I should start off with this. Do we need leaders in the black community? A lot of people say no. I've heard some people say, Tyrone, we don't need any leaders. Why do people need leaders? You lead yourself. You don't need a leader. And so, what do you think about that, John? Do you think first that there is a need for leaders in the black community?
The need for leaders should be the fathers of the families and the men of the community like it used to be.
Okay.
But as far as a main leader, yeah, we need that. But it's the thing is that people are going to actually listen and follow and, be with it, whatever he's talking about, whatever we need.
Okay.
Like, more attention to the kids. Like, we need that no matter what, but it's not being shown at all.
Right.
People talk a good game. That's what it is. People talk a good game, but ain't nobody about that.
Ain't nobody about it. The need for leaders, I do think that we actually need leaders. I don't know if we need one supreme leader.
No, not one.
You know, like, I think we need leaders. I think we need a lot of leaders. And I think I think every community has leaders. I think maybe our definition of a leader might be different for certain people. My definition of a leader is somebody who leads, who is willing to take control, sometimes take a loss, sometimes be unpopular, but do things to lead people in a positive direction for whatever their belief system, because it's impossible to have one leader when so many people have so many different belief systems and thought processes. And so my thing is, if you're a Muslim, then there needs to be some leaders in that community. If you're a Christian, then there needs to be some type of leaders in that community. If you're just a secular person, there has to be some type of leader. And they don't even all have to be going toward the exact same goal, but just progress in mind.
I feel like sometimes, a leader is necessary, but if everybody got on the same page and just realized that everybody is different, and just you have to understand that everybody is just different, and you have no control over anybody else but yourself, I think you wouldn't need a leader. Because I say like this, I know 3 things for sure. I was born, I'm going to die, and I don't know when I'm going to die. I know that for sure.
Okay, yeah, that is for
That's
sure.
That's the only thing I know.
That's for sure.
Other than that,
well, are you sure about when you were born?
That's what they put on my birth certificate. I know what they told me.
That could be a lie.
No, I didn't say when. I said I know I was.
Yeah, this is true.
I said I know I was.
This is true.
And that's how I live my life. Like, if you want to do whatever you want to do, that is totally fine with me. Because you know what? It don't affect me when I go home. Like, if you want to yell.
Well, it does affect you because, it does affect you. See, John said what people do don't affect me when he go home.
But I'm saying.
But you opened up talking about how your neighbors is leaving dog poop in front of your house. And
it don't affect me.
If it don't affect you,
I just be outside,
then why are you talking about it?
Because I be like, dang, we just make ourselves look bad, and then we'll blame somebody else for it. But and stuff like that, I understand. Like, people always say the news make our people look bad. Come on, man.
Okay.
We make our people look bad.
Okay. You know
Stop
what?
doing stuff for the news to come around.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. I actually agree with you somewhat. I think, again, I always say 2 things can happen at the same time. I think sometimes we do make ourselves look bad, and I think the media does amplify when we do things that make us look bad at the same time. I don't think looking bad or doing things that are buffoonish are that's something that's just designated for black people. I do think that black people do get the brunt of the media showing it and talking about it because people like watching us. People like watching us as entertainment, as entertainers. I mean, look at it. Like, far as the black community, I feel like that's our biggest commodity is actually entertainment.
Yeah, because I laugh a lot at our people in the black community. And people are like, why are you doing that? Don't tell us. It's funny. It's funny because the same people that be like, nah, that don't be happening. That ain't really us. Yeah, it happens. Like, I'm from LA. Like, a lot of stuff go down in LA that people just be like, nah, I don't be like that. Yeah, I do. Like, a lot of people that say, I don't see color. That's because they ain't never been around rough neighborhoods and stuff like
They say that because they don't want to see it. They see color.
No, because Tommy Davidson said that.
He don't want to see it.
He didn't see it, and because he was adopted by that white lady, his mom's friend.
Yeah, he's still not.
For a while, he didn't understand why black people was beating him up because he didn't see color because he was raised somewhere.
Okay,
where
I get it. It wasn't his lived experience.
Yeah, it wasn't his lived experience, and some people can be like that until something may happen to them, and then they still won't understand. Like, well, why did it happen to me? I was just minding my business because you're something different about you that attracted that attention.
Okay.
And people don't understand that.
Okay.
Like, I know I can get pulled over any time for any reason, just because.
Yeah. This is very true. I do know that. I have that feeling deep down inside that no matter what I do, I can be pulled over doing exactly what I'm supposed to do as a driver.
Other people get pulled over besides black people. We're not the only ones. Now,
I think we are disproportionately pulled over when it comes down to the percentage, not to the overall number. Yeah. But I do now that's something I do think. I understand, and I always try to be fair in everything. But I do think that as black people, I think we do get pulled over more than other people. Yeah. More than, I think Hispanics are on the rise. I do think so. I think that, you know what, if you Latino, watch out, because they treat you guys more like us. And a lot of people are not going to like to hear this, but now it's a lot of Latinos and, people from South America in that region that would look down on black people that kind of now are starting to learn how it feel like.
Yeah, because they get pulled over.
Yeah, they getting pulled over. They getting pulled over. They getting papers checked.
Like, just like us. But it happens to a lot of people. You might just catch a police officer on a bad day. You could be a white, young kid bumping.
Yeah, I seen a white guy getting tased. Over and over. I think you showed me.
Yeah, the handicapped guy.
Yeah, why you laughing?
It's not funny, but the dude was like, he was locked up, man.
Yeah, so I don't know the exact story, but John did show me something. It was a handicapped man getting tased.
White people yell funny stuff when they be getting tased. It was like, it hurts. Yeah, sir, I believe you.
John the comedian with a little bit of comic relief, talking about it hurts when the man's getting tased. But yeah, I do think, though, that leadership is something that is important. Now, the people that we designate as leaders, I don't know who designates these people as leaders. I've heard some people say Al Sharpton is a leader. And I'll be like, where y'all get that? And I'm not arguing. I would like to know where people get things. You know what? I think that things are made up.
The old Al Sharpton was not the dude to be taking the selfies now.
The old Al Sharpton, but even back in the day, remember Al Sharpton, remember when he was working with the FBI because the Italian mob was threatening him, but he was already doing stuff with the Italian mob. Remember Al Sharpton buying dope? And now, should those things exclude you from being a leader?
No.
Okay, I don't think I honestly don't.
Nobody
people are people. Okay, great.
Nobody is perfect. Like, we can go, like, everybody is looking up to Kurt Franklin. They still do look up to Kurt Franklin.
Okay,
but he's a man just like everybody else. When Oprah addicted to porn.
Kurt addicted to porn.
Used to be, he said.
It make you wanna.
He said
stomp.
he threw his porn away in the trash and then jumped in the dumpster and got him. I'm like, come on, bro. You was making enough money where you could have just ordered some more.
So that you think that part of the story was just for entertainment value?
Yeah, just for entertainment, dog. And porn is not that important to be in somebody's trash.
Well, don't they have it on the internet?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, especially back in the day, he could afford the high-speed internet back in the day. His dollar wasn't as long.
Make you wanna stop.
Smash.
Yeah, I don't think making a mistake should disqualify you from being a leader. To me, though, if you're going to be a leader, whatever you're leading, your message has to stay in the forefront of what you're doing. I think what happens is people start off as leaders and then they get diluted with money. And no, I don't think that leaders should not make money because people say, well, Tyrone, a leader shouldn't have to be broke. That's why don't nobody want to be no leader. And I think, again, we look at a leader as a grandiose, big idea of a person when anybody could be a leader. You right now watching, listening on your way to work, at work, whatever you're doing, you could be a leader. If you show an example and you do your best to try to take people in a positive direction, then I would consider you a leader. And so, yes, you can make money being a leader, but my thing is when you take money to go against your principle. And when you take that money behind closed doors and when you try to be slick, and then I do think to be a leader, a part of you has to be a little bit selfless.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of you. There's always going to be times where you have to do what's best for self because we live on the earth. This is America. There's going to be times you have to do best for self, but doing best for self should not overtake your cause or the reason that you're a leader or the people you're leading. There has to be some type of balance. You see what I'm saying? And so, and that's what I think that happens. I think a lot of people, they'll start off and their motivations will be right and their heart will be in the right place and they go, I'm gonna lie. Yeah.
Man, you sound that. Listen, perfect example of that is every brand new teacher when they first start teaching, they come in guns a-blazing. I'm going to change these kids. I'm going to do better than the last teacher they had. And they burn out after a while. Talk to any teacher that's getting ready to retire, and they'll spew you a whole line of cuss words of how happy they are to be finally done with these bad kids out here.
Well, most people that do things until retirement age are tired of it. Yeah, but I do understand what you mean with the burnout.
It's like you're trying to change it, but the people, they don't really care. They just there listening because they got to be there, or it's like, oh, this is repetitive, same thing like that. And I tell a lot of people, like, if you're going to stick with it, go in there and know what you're about to deal with. Know that you ain't going to change everybody's life, and you're not going to get to everybody.
No. And that's why I said, even when we talk about leader, I don't think there's going to be possible for there to be just one encompassing leader. That's not possible. But I do think that we need a bevy of leaders. We need with a myriad of different talents and things in the way that they could lead. I think leadership takes a certain temperament. You have to know how to deal with people to be a leader. Because Robert said the other day, my buddy Robert Kelly, with meme knowledge, and not that Robert Kelly out there listening, you guys are looking at your speaker, say Tyrone. Ooh. I'm talking about my buddy Robert Kelly. They just happen to have the same name. No relation. Robert from California. He was talking about leadership, and we were having a conversation, and he said there has to be somebody who people like, because how can you lead if nobody likes you? And it's a great point. It's a great point. You could, John, you know what? You can have the keys to life in your left pocket. And you could be trying to tell people how to get said keys. But if they don't like you, they're just not going to listen. They're not going to listen. Do you think that that's an important factor in a leader, is being likable?
Yeah, you got to be likable. But it's different levels of leadership.
Okay.
Like I said, you said in the black community, everybody in the black community, especially adults, should be leaders. If you see kids doing stuff they ain't supposed to be doing, it's your responsibility. Like, listen, that's not the right thing to be doing. Y'all not supposed to be on the side of the building, especially smaller kids on the building, doing stuff like that. So if you do it like that, because what they always say, it takes a village to raise a child, which means the whole community is responsible for every kid in that community. If you see these kids on the corner smoking and drinking when they're not supposed to and out there cussing, I see kids on cussing all the time, like, hey man, no, if y'all want to do that, I know I can't tell y'all what to do, but you ain't gonna do it around me. Go ahead and take it over there. Like my niece is 20 years old, and we was at dinner with a big family gathering, and she was like, I'm the cool uncle. She was like, Uncle John, guys, come with me to the bar, buy me a drink. Like, I've been here before. They, they know me. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I don't care if they've been here. They know you because I'm your uncle. Like, I don't drink with my nieces and nephews.
So you put your leadership skills in the play.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do that with anybody's child. Like, I'm not your friend. My mom was never my friend. She was my mother and a leader.
Yeah.
My father was never my friend. My mom used to say, don't throw a ball at me. I never played catch with my mom. Don't throw a ball at me. I'm not a toy. I'm not one of your friends to play with.
Okay.
And it's always like that. My mom, anybody's child now, y'all better stop this, that. That's how it was. And that's how I think it should be with everybody. But you have people these days like, don't talk to my child like that because it's a child raising a child. And they don't know the difference of how you're supposed to talk to someone.
Okay. You know what? I think those are some wonderful examples when we were talking about leaders. I do think that. A parent is a leader. You could be a leader. Wait a minute. Did you say if you see kids on the side of the building? Hold on, it just occurred to me as I was talking. You said you see kids on the side of the building. As a black person, since we're talking about the black community, you feel as if you should go, it's our responsibility to go talk to them like, hey.
I'm not going to roll up on him like
look, hey, J. Roy, you see him about to change up real quick? I'm about to get on him. I'm about to get on him.
I'm not going to roll up on him like, yo, don't be doing that. But I'm going to ride over there like, hey, y'all know y'all not supposed to be back here doing that.
Okay, look, when I say I'm going to get on him, I'm only saying that for this reason. Look, J. Roy, because me, the people in Houston that's riding to work that listen to us, we all know what John going to do. He ain't going to tell them nothing. He gonna go to the HOA meeting and tell on them. That's what John come to.
Kids that always be hanging out with each other.
That's what John come to.
Nah, I do tell because I see kids doing dumb stuff all the time, and it just annoys me. Like, where are your parents at? Mm-hmm. So I will tell kids like that. Like, okay, it's I don't know. I be scared for the youth.
Okay,
our black
scared
people,
for the youth or scared of the youth?
For.
Okay, and I and that's good. And see, you can be a leader, Mufrere, right there.
They'll listen to me because in the same sense,
see, I
tell them something good and knowledgeable, then I say something stupid right after that, just to make them laugh. And okay, he cool.
And everybody isn't meant to be a leader either, because if everybody was meant to be a leader, what would be a leader? There wouldn't be no definition of. I mean, there would be a definition, but that would just mean everybody. I think also leaders. You gotta have people that are willing to follow. And then the word follow, it kind of strikes at your pride almost.
It feels like you're like a servant.
It feels like you're subservient to someone, or like you don't have a brain of your own. But essentially, a lot of us follow anyway, and we just don't know it, or we don't admit it to ourselves because
subliminally,
even subliminally, or just right there in your face. Because I watch trends. I sit back and and I'll just watch the way that people respond to things. And then I'll look at both sides of it and I'll analyze it and I'll be like, well, people are following this because it's a trend. Yeah. They're following other people's opinions without even going to formulate a full opinion. That's just something that people do. Yeah. And I see it all the time. I see it all the time. And like I said, it's just something that people do. Let's see. Robert says that being a leader is being a servant. I much agree with you, Robert. I much agree with you. Bobby says. Then the old heads got to move out the way. Raise up younger leaders. The old ways need to change. You know what, Bobby? That is something that is come up a lot in this conversation when we're talking about leadership, when people talk about old leaders and new leaders and say, hey, old heads.
But the new leaders ain't teaching stuff.
The new leaders ain't teaching stuff.
And they say the old ways need to change. Actually, they need to come back.
Okay.
They need to come back.
Okay. Why do you say the old ways need to come back?
How many times you used to hear people say, my mama told me how to change, I can't come out like that. Now people mama be wearing the same outfits they wear out.
Okay, but is that leadership or is that just ways of the people
it's changing. But it's like you wear that outfit out, then people say stuff to you, then you be mad about it.
So new leaders, okay, so you're saying that new leaders now are too loose in their ways or too loose in their what? Their ideology?
This is why I tell people like this. Like the red carpet, when you have somebody walk down the red carpet with just pasties on and the cover over. Like,
okay, name a leader, somebody you would consider a leader.
There like that. Cardi B is a leader in her
Cardi B is a leader in her own mind.
People follow her. She don't even know.
Does followers make you a leader?
Let me tell you something.
Well, you know what?
There's a lot of people out here that are more influenced by Cardi B than somebody that's teaching something like, hey, we need in our community.
Absolutely.
But all Cardi B is saying, oh, I'm wearing this and this and this, and you got everybody in line waiting for that thing.
Absolutely. I remember asking people a couple months ago when I think we even did it one day. We went out on the streets and we were asking questions. Who would you rather see, Cardi B or Michelle Obama? And people were Cardi B, and there were some people that would just argue me down, and I'm like, you're not arguing with me. Because these are what other people are saying.
I don't want to sit down and listen to something that's gonna possibly help me out in life. I want to see entertainment and half nakedness and this. And
so Cardi B is a leader, John.
Just like we said, people will pick to go see Cardi B because they follow her more. She don't know it's just like the dude that had everybody drink the Kool-Aid.
Okay.
As a leader, and people will follow Cardi B to the edge of the earth.
Okay, you know what? I'm thinking about it. Is Cardi B a leader? Well, she does have people that follow her. Okay, well, if that's the case, does that mean is anybody who's popular a leader?
Pretty much. They can push any point they want to push, and people will be like, "Okay, I agree," just because they are that much with them.
Okay, well, maybe I need to change my question to a positive leader.
There you go.
Because, and I'm listening to you, and what you're saying is making a lot of sense. What you guys think out there? Robert says Cardi B is definitely a leader. Okay.
And even
okay, I gotta respect it. I'm listening. You guys make sense.
Whole beehive. Say something negative about Beyonce.
Okay. Even if they're not choosing to be leaders,
they've been subliminally.
They're de facto leaders, subliminally brainwashed. I don't even think they have to. I think people. Well, are they leaders? Hey, Anthony, what's going on? What's up, Anthony? I think are people leaders when they're celebrities because we follow celebrities, because we have a culture who idolizes celebrity to the utmost? Is because oftentimes we bring up other cultures when we talk about black people. And I don't always like when people do it, but I'm about to do it right now. So, do other cultures look up to celebrities as leaders?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Look, and you know we hate to do this, but Donald Trump is, even though he's the president of y'all country.
The president of y'all country? That you live in?
Yeah, I love it here.
But it's y'all country.
And he don't affect me. I just ignore him.
I don't care about Donald Trump like that either.
The White House was empty.
For the last 4 years, you know what?
The White House been empty.
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you. Since Donald Trump has been the president, I think that he has inflicted a whole bunch of mental damage upon the country. And I don't think he's done it by himself. I think he's done it with the help
the support of his followers.
Not his followers, because they have mental damage as well. And you said out loud, not just black people. I know black people. I think black people have suffered mental damage as well. I think everybody is suffering mental damage. And the other entity that I wanted to include is the media. I saw something somewhere the other day that says Donald Trump receives 80% of all media coverage. 80%. So we have wars. We have dictatorship change and regime change, and we have a trade embargo with China. We have all sorts of things going on in the world, and I do understand he's the president. And when they talk about him in this 80%, not much of it has any substance. It's about he tweeted, this person had a double chin. And what it's doing is making people's temperament is so fragile and don't touch that subject. You see what I mean? And they're beating people up. They're bombarding people with Donald Trump isms. And so now it's to the point to where it's like when I say people are suffering mental trauma, and I really think that people are going to have to go see shrinks, is because when you bring his name up, just watch the automatic knee-jerk reaction from both sides.
But it's
supporters and non-supporters. It's Donald Trump. Oh, don't you bring him up? That's the orange man. Donald Trump, he's making America great.
But check it out. And that's the thing. Mm-hmm. Why are you letting somebody else stress you out like that?
That is me points, me friend.
And I be telling people all the time, it's one man tweeting stuff.
Yeah.
Social media is for entertainment. Everybody knows this man is ignorant.
Ignorant.
So why are you letting words get you sticks and stones and break my bones? You remember that?
Yeah.
Now it's like
Dave Chappelle, sticks and stones.
Social media, IG and Facebook hurts my feelings and it makes me want to kill myself. That's how it is.
That's how people act.
Take stuff so serious off a computer.
Right.
That they literally out there having heart attacks and strokes over this man.
And that's why I said the mental effect that he is not himself, but he himself and the media is causing. 80%, let's say 50%. That's a lot of coverage. Let's say 40%. That's a lot of coverage on one person, especially when the majority of it isn't of any substance. It's just a whole bunch of he said, she said, things to rub you wrong and keep you pissed off. And the bad part about it is he is really doing things that is going to change the dynamics of this country forever. Whichever side that you're on. But these are the intrinsic things that we don't know about. What we do know about is when he said what does he said? He's whatever he say, he said, and the thing is, he says so many things, he's talked so bad and so many go back and forth in a petulant way with so many people to where it's even hard to remember. He said something about Baltimore. Everybody going off about it. It's in the news. You spend a week watching that. But we miss everything else that's happening in the world. And all this stuff is doing is just making people more angry with each other, more angry with each other. You see couples arguing because their ideology is different, their politics is different. Over tweets, over somebody who is not going to be in office for the rest of our lives. Now, granted, the things he's doing, whatever side of the fence you are on, will affect us for a while. But you know the thing is, can't do nothing about it.
Can't do nothing about it.
You can't do nothing about it. If you wake up every day and you say, I hate this orange, I can't. Like, if that's consuming your life, the thing about it is, I get it.
And that's why I say, if it's consuming your life like that, and that's why I say people are brainwashed and they don't even know it. If you gotta wake up in the morning and check Donald Trump's tweet just to get mad, like, oh, what he talking about today? Why are you following him?
Take a break.
Half of his followers don't even like him. They do it
Take
just to
a
see
break.
what he gonna say.
Right. And
like, I can't even tell you, like, I don't follow no celebrities. I don't even know how to click on somebody because I don't care about their life. I'm trying to survive day to day in my own skin. Okay. So why do I want to see you riding in your Cadillac talking about hard work earned? Like, I'm trying to work hard too. I don't have time to watch you talk about how you work hard to earn it. I'm working hard right now to get it. So on my whole thing, I'll do my stuff like I'm out here grinding, man. It's hard, it's tough. So y'all can watch what you want to watch. I'll do that.
Right.
But people don't want to see broke me.
No.
They want to see fantasy stuff like I'm gonna walk out my house and find a bag of money. Oh, like now I be driving behind them Brinks trucks just in case they open up.
Just in case. Yeah. Like Jaheim, just in case.
I be always asking why I can't find a bag of money.
Because man,
it's not made for me to find a bag of money.
It's just not meant. It's not meant. Some people, hey, sometimes we just gotta work hard for our money.
I won the lotto one time, man. I started cussing and stuff. That's why I lost. I got the first 3 numbers right, and I was in the house dancing. Yeah. Bombshell.
Sometimes it hit you. Sometimes it hit you. But yeah, you guys. So we're talking about leadership. Do we need leaders in the black community? I say yes. I say there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think we're going to have one supreme leader. I think that we need a whole bunch of individual leaders. I think we have leaders, and they don't necessarily get the credit that they're getting for the leadership and the things that they are doing. We have a bunch of leaders. We have leaders in our communities. We have leaders in our families. We have leaders. Sometimes you might have a leader at home. Now you got to be willing to be led, which means that don't mean be stupid. Because you got to vet these leaders. Because if I tell you guys I need $300,000-$400,000 because I need to buy a private jet, because I want to take Soapbox Heroes on a mission around the world.
I was about to say, because we don't want to sit in traffic no more.
Because we don't want to sit in traffic.
That's how it be.
And we don't want to be late. You got to watch them leaders. But the leaders who lead from their heart, that you feel have a good spirit and that you feel really want to do the right thing. Like, again, I do think that leaders have to have a part of them that are selfless.
You got to be careful with that too, because the people that actually lead from the heart, sometimes those is cold.
They have you. Everybody drink this Kool-Aid.
I'm telling you, the people like that.
Right, true.
You just got to be. It's in your own judgment to be like, okay, this don't sound right, because you know how society is supposed to be. Okay. Our rules that we had, and then you know how things are. Just something in between is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like anything where people like give me all your money and bank accounts and come live.
Something's wrong.
With me. Something's wrong. I ain't paid rent in how long, and this seems right to you. Like now, how much rent was you paying before you came here? It cost money.
Yes, and then that's why the whole leadership thing is tricky, because being a leader, whatever you do, let's say you are trying to lead, because when we talk about leaders here, let me make sure that I categorize these things properly, because again, I don't think all leaders have to be a grandiose household name that everybody looks up and loves, because we do have smaller leaders. But if you are going to be a leader of a larger movement and you have a larger quest at hand or a journey that you're trying to partake and you're trying to lead people on that journey, I do understand that those things do take money. that's why I do think it is incumbent upon the people who may be looking up toward that leader to be okay with them making money. When I'm talking about the money, I just mean from your heart, right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying it's not okay for a leader to live good. But to me personally, okay, if I'm a leader and I have people following me and they're just like abjectly poor and I am just like super rich, I mean, 4 or 5 houses sprawled out over the world, you know what I mean? Acres and acres of land, millions upon millions of dollars in the bank.
And the millions.
And the millions, I would have to do something for the people who aren't making anything. There would have to be something in place to help those people. And I wouldn't be able to, like, okay, and I'm just talking about me personally. I'm not talking about nobody else. There has to be a level to me, if I'm a leader, where I'm comfortable with, like, you know what, this is enough money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I could do things for other people. We can use things to make other people be able to make money and live good and feel good and be able to do these things. So for me, a leader can't be somebody who does everything only for their own comfort. You want to see other people to be comfort. You want to see other people reach that same level of success, or at least be able to pull themselves together out of that. And that's my thing a lot of times when we come down to the leaders. Seem like the leaders just be about all bag. And when you say something about it, people be like, well, we got criticizing. That's why nobody want to be a leader. I'm not criticizing. You can make your money. But don't throw your people away.
You can make your money, but you ain't got to show that you're making the money like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these dudes will start off like me, just playing, and then all of a sudden they roll up with Rolexes and big cars. Like, stay yourself. Be yourself. Just pay your bills.
That might be themselves. Well, no, there's a lot of people, hold on. There's a lot of people who have an exquisite taste. And they just can't afford it. And so look,
you shouldn't have an exquisite taste.
No, listen, hold on. Look, let me tell you this. Because in a way, I agree with you. But in a way, I do understand. Like, again, I'm not talking about myself. If I had $100 million in the bank, I would drive a nice car because that's what I like. But now listen, here's the caveat. There's always a caveat. I believe that there has to be some sort of empathy. We're talking about leaders. So if I'm not going to pull up in my brand new Bentley Spur or whatnot, and I'm going to a place where people are struggling, hungry, destitute, looking at me like I'm a meal, or they worship you. They worship these people so much to where they try to do anything to get what they have. And so they start taking shortcuts. And they start doing things that'll get them in trouble. So
a leader should know not to do
and that's my point. So a leader can have those things. And this is just my perspective. There's a place and a time, because look, when you have money like that, let's keep it 100. You spend a lot of time going to galas and high-end dinner. You have all the opportunity in the world to show what you have. You don't always have to show what you have to the people who don't have. Yeah. And so I understand, because if they earn it, they earn it. They earn it. Some of them earn the money. If you earn your money, you earn your money.
If you earn it, you earn it. But if you earn it off of trying to be a leader, you can go to your gals and stuff, but that's when you wear your nice stuff to show, like, hey, or just a nice suit. You ain't gotta be in a Bentley and stuff like that. Like, you're not being a leader to be a show off. Okay, you're being a leader to prove your point or get your point across. Actually,
well, see, that's the thing. You're not being a leader to be a show off, but again, to me,
you're showing off with somebody else's money.
Now, but I couldn't call you a leader. You see what I'm saying? And that's why, in my definition of a leader, that's why I'm going back to when we were talking about, is Cardi B a leader? That'd be like saying Future is a leader. Just people follow him. So you guys are right. You can be a leader, but you can be a positive leader and you can be a negative leader. You can lead people in a negative way. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. Nasha says, hey, Nasha. She says anyone can be a leader. Hitler was a leader. Charles Manson was a leader.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's just upon people to use common sense, which a lot of people don't have.
Mm-hmm. She says that's not the problem. The problem is we don't teach enough people to be leaders, and we teach them to be followers. So listen to anything and have no mind of their own. Okay.
It starts when they children commercials. If you let your kids watch a lot of TV, they're going to learn a lot of stuff that you don't even know they learn.
Yeah, and we have the internet. YouTube.
Yeah. Commercials come on and they brainwash these kids. You'll have your kid like ask you for something all year, especially around Christmas time. Watch how your kids know about these new toys.
Well, you know what I think is amazing? When we're talking about followers, and I think we talk so much about kids, I see grown people following more than the kids.
Because these kids are starting to brainwash the grown people and thinking that, hey, you're old and you're not irrelevant anymore. You're irrelevant. So now they want to be hip and popular. So you go out, these old people walk around saying, I look fleek and all this stuff. Like, come on, man.
Okay.
Just be yourself.
Okay. Hey, you guys, look, we're going to go ahead and we're going to ease out to a little break, and we're going to come back swinging like Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Adrian! We're going to come back swinging. We're going to play a little something. We're going to be right back. This is Soapbox Heroes. And we're going to get on this topic and more right after this. What's going on in the world? I'm in Barry. What's happening, you guys? Let's see.
I'm talking about who have to
That isn't a leader. That's a hustler. Yeah, this is
You can't trust nobody these days. You keep your money in your pocket and lead yourself to victory.
okay. I think that you can trust certain people.
Everybody let down. Joe Osteen. When Joe Osteen didn't open the church doors, they like, but that's his church. No, the fuck it's not.
Well, but see, and then I
The
think
church is in the community helping people.
okay. I think this is the problem. We're we're fascinated with people and not with what they do, to where it gets easy for people to do like a little fake gesture to get everybody on their side. And then once everybody's on their side, they defend them when they get everything wrong that they do, instead of taking every situation by situation. You see what I'm saying? Hey, what's happening? Nap Queen? Hey! Hey!
Hey there. What's on 356?
Hey!
56. Hi there.
Hey,
Happy morning.
we talking about leaders, black leaders. Do we need black leaders?
Yes, we do.
See?
You said
4.
you said 3.
We're gonna bring you in.
We need black leaders. Well, they're not.
We need
they're
people.
not
We need people to
scarce,
listen.
are they?
They're gone.
There are. We got,
I don't think so. I think what people look at as a leader.
Megan Thee Stallion is garbage.
oh, we're not going to.
He said, Megan Thee Stallion is
You know what I'm
garbage.
saying? Niggas will go to bat for these people. Bro. She's trash.
Hey,
She's
look.
garbage. She don't wear no clothes. She ain't got no flow
You
style.
sound very misogynistic.
Whoa.
She sounds misogynistic.
Trying to defend
He's
it.
misogynist. You're misogynist.
So she showed up at the address like late as hell, or she didn't show up at the address at all. Niggas paid $60 and people still cool with her though.
I wasn't there. I ain't buy the. Some told me don't buy the ticket. Somebody-
See, something told her don't buy a ticket. So you
I
was
was
gonna buy
my
it.
wallet.
To go see Megan Thee Stallion for $60 at the address.
What? Well, that was
$60?
The address that don't even have parking on the side of the freeway.
And they gonna
address?
charge you $1,000 to
Oh, you
park.
can't park in the hood because you get
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
What's
don't
the
get your
point?
car towed.
But people will go broke trying to do that stuff.
To go see Megan Thee
she-
Stallion.
Don't follow somebody.
She's our leader?
Niggas will sit outside.
Is Cardi B a leader?
For whom?
For whom?
Not for
See,
them.
if you gotta say
And, all
that
right,
means
hold on. We all right. We gonna hold
Young
on.
black,
We gonna talk
multiracial
about.
Latina children, absolutely. She's their role
For
model.
black people too. You see how people this
She's
is
not black.
Hold on.
We've got Beyonce.
Hold on.
You better not say nothing about the DI.
Don't
Oh,
you hate 'em.
hey, you guys, look, John for lunch. It's not even lunch. Well, it's lunchtime whenever you want to eat lunchtime. John cracked his morning off
No, I gotta take my practice.
with 3 cheeseburgers from Burger
Supposed to
King.
be 4, but niggas can't listen.
It's supposed to be 4.
Said 3.
You talking about me being late?
She's super late.
It was a train. I had to go around it.
It was a train.
And then you know what?
She an hour late talking about one train.
I probably would have beat it had I not decided to print out my resume at the last.
What time is it?
You could have wrote that on the
Boy.
I'm not going to please write it. I couldn't type it.
Just had to write a resume.
No, I said I printed it out at the last.
The what?
She could have wrote her resume on the post.
You said she could have wrote a resume on the post-it?
This nigga had a job for like 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Last week.
It's real, but it's nighttime and it's fun.
You quit?
No, I ain't quit.
Yeah.
Hey, J. Roy, if you can, play the bed on the studio monitors just a little bit.
Oh, the drink. But you know what? It got some of that.
Oh, you put coffee out the water.
I could always take it. Red water is good for your digestive system. Because you're going to have a hell of a time digesting them 3 burgers. Can't vote.
I feel like somebody about to creep in here and shoot this. Bow, 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 bow.
You got that on the drugs.
We back, Houston. You are listening to the fine beats of J. Roy, the producer. And sometimes when they play this music in the background, you ever feel like I always say, I wish when I walked in the door I had a theme song, like in the Westerns when they kick in the door and they be like, I want this to be my theme song. I want to kick in the door and this just start playing Pow, and they just be like boom, boom, boom. That would make the room so much better. So much better. We have a new late but great guest with us. New late but great because of the train.
You know, because she was doing her hair, because that is not done.
He's starting early.
He started early. He said he's starting early.
So he gonna put the camera to
Justin had got a whole bald spot down the front of his face. He looked like the airbender.
He looks like the airbender. Baldy. Okay.
I'm not bald.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. Very short introduction. Introduce yourself some more.
Oh, okay. I'm from Houston. I am a comic
H-Town. A comic and an H-Town. And a baby mama. And this is something that I know. Somebody studied theater at Texas Southern University.
The whole thing, yes.
The whole thing. And I know this because I'll say, hey, it's hot outside today. And Alicia said, yes, and I studied theater at Texas Southern University.
Yeah,
yes.
People that failed their classes always say they studied. They didn't graduate with a degree in theater. They just studied. And then they
what? I hate when people say that too.
Yeah.
Because I actually do have a degree in theater, but
a degree in theater. Woo-wee. Tell him.
BA in fine art.
Tell him. Pow, pow, hit him hard. Pow, pow.
See that shit on Amazon.
It's okay.
See, John is the hater. You guys know that. John's the hater. Tell him, Alicia, he can't help it. Haters eat cheeseburgers on the mic with a full mouth because they just don't care. Just don't care. And he always talk about the things that colored people do. Look at the things that John do.
That is unprofessional.
See, and look, and that's not a colored people problem. That's a John problem. Wait a minute.
A Negro-rific thing for you.
A Negro-rific thing. See,
if you're doing it for the white people, you give it more ammunition.
See, they coming here cutting up.
At least it ain't a chicken.
It's 11 o'clock. At least it ain't a chicken sandwich. Lord have mercy. Talking about the chicken sandwich. Look, we were talking about leaders. And you done led me to think about a chicken sandwich. But let me talk about some leaders some more. Alicia, do you think that we need leaders in the black community?
I mean, the thing is, black people aren't, a monolith. Is that the new catchphrase? So
Wait. What do you mean monolith is a new catchphrase?
No one leader fits all.
Okay.
all black people.
I want to know
It's
why
different
monolith
stuff.
is a catchphrase.
Because, there's all this diversity and intersectionality, and people want to, be known as like, okay, well, this is my opinion. Even though I'm a woman, that doesn't mean I share the same opinions as this woman.
Okay.
So then, we're not all monolithic. We're not all the same.
Hasn't it always been like that, or is that new?
But I mean, people look. Who you looking for? Martin Luther King, Malcolm. Them ain't.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? We always had
types, but they ain't here. They exist, but it's so many more.
There's so many more.
Because of social media, so many people with voices like Umar and his school, and then there's somebody with another extreme viewpoint. What's his name? Sotomayor. That guy.
Okay. Are these
so
guys
many
leaders?
I mean, they're leaders amongst black men, absolutely.
They're leaders
They listen to
amongst
them.
black men.
And yeah. So if we're looking for leaders, are we looking for black men? I mean, y'all ain't gonna.
No, go ahead, say it,
Who
say
y'all
it.
want, Kamala?
This is Soapbox Heroes.
Is
Say
Kamala
what you want to
supposed be our
say.
leader? Is she
Our
next?
leader? No, I
Talking
wouldn't.
about she's really fitting in now. Is she our voice?
Okay, and when you say
She's
fitting
a
in
leader,
now,
she's a political
look,
leader.
you know what, Alicia, I am hearing you, and I see where you're going when you say things like right now
Right now.
and catchphrase. You're trying to say that these leaders is new and improved just based on the moment. That's what I was trying to get to.
They know
is
how
what
to
you were
contort
saying.
themselves.
So you saying that they just matrixing, they just doing the matrix just to make you think that they are
Right.
for you.
Well, I mean, okay. What's one of the most for black people?
Okay.
Our most important issues are what?
For black people?
Mass incarceration,
All right.
unemployment.
Okay.
I can vouch for that.
Okay.
It's
You can
rough
vouch
on
for
black
that?
people.
Oh man, no, I'm not even gonna let you go.
Okay,
black
John,
people
go there, John. Go there, John. Go ahead, go ahead.
Ask for unemployment. You keep quitting your job. I'm
Oh,
unemployed by choice.
I did not
So
quit.
don't even blame the society on that.
It's
That's
so
you
rough.
Not wanting to go to
so
work.
tough
I work
on
hard.
Soapbox,
You about to quit the job.
I
baby.
quit it because I was just weighing my options. I gotta get out
You
here,
know what I'm saying?
get a little closer to the
They're
crib.
not paying her what she thinks she worth.
Yeah, they are. I just gotta wait on my first check.
See if it's up to snuff.
Okay, okay,
Right, man.
okay.
I can't do this. She like Martin. Like I was flipping burgers all day. They didn't promote me, baby.
But that's another thing with black people. We go and get like 1,000,000 degrees to go and work nowhere or somewhere for way less than what we
That's
work.
not.
So that's an issue of ours.
Is that only
Yes.
black people? Are we talking about things that are only happening to blacks, or
Well, if
or
you want
are we
leaders in
or are we
black
just
community.
talking about things that we're just talking about blacks? Like
I'm
it don't
talking
matter
about
if it
black
affects other people.
It should
You're
affect-
talking about what's happening with
Yeah.
like
It
it's
should
affecting
affect
us.
all people that
Okay.
are in poverty, and
Okay.
the middle class is gone, so it should affect everybody.
Okay.
Those are the people who should come together, but we can't because we're still divided among racial, and cultural lines.
Okay.
The most important people are the poverty people, and it's more of us.
Okay.
Than it is of the
Okay.
rich.
Now I hear you talking about people being divided on racial lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question, John. You ready? Look at her face. She drinking the coffee. Is Cardi B a leader?
In what respect?
To black people, could she be
No.
to a little black girl?
She's not a black woman, so no, she's not a
you,
leader.
you see the switch up?
For black girls. I
Okay.
don't have a black daughter, I have a black son. And
Okay. Well, black
Whenever
girls.
we yelled out, "Oh, girl," whatever she did.
I love
Did-
Cardi, but
did
I
that,
didn't say
didn't
she
she?
didn't lead me.
Oh,
What-
girl.
you said to what?
She did not lead me. She's an artist.
She leaves.
And
you
it's
say,
I
"Oh,
have
Carter,"
an
every
appreciation
time
for the
you agree
act.
with somebody.
Huh?
Every time you say "old Carter," she.
I mean, she got that from black people, though.
Okay,
That
so-
kind of
so
slang
Cardi
is like
B-
synonymous with black hood girl.
So Cardi B isn't a leader because she's a celebrity?
No, because she is a celebrity, she has a platform, and she's using her platform in a way. She is for I guess millennials, because she's going out talking to Bernie Sanders and trying to push people to vote. Not necessarily vote for somebody, but to vote.
I wish she wasn't doing that. And I know people's gonna say, Cardi B, like, I understand, but that's what I mean. Go get somebody serious.
Thank
What?
you.
You
Go
don't
get
think
Dr.
she's
No.
way she be
No,
talking.
no.
You want
I
to
get
sit
it.
down
It's
talking to a
great.
politician?
It's great for
That's why we need to
entertainment.
worry about the American
It's great
educational
for
system.
entertainment. It's great for the people who like her.
byproduct.
But as far as getting substance, there's no substance. She'll ask people questions and then read the question. Like, there's no substance.
So
Go.
it's essentially a prop.
She is a prop, and you know what? And I say, they use her well, and she plays that role well, and it's great. I see she did an interview with Bernie Sanders. I think as far as Bernie Sanders, I think it was brilliant because he can reach another demographic. And so I get it. I get the politics in it. But the actual tangible substance in it, go get Dr. Claude Anderson. Let Claude Anderson do a Q&A with the politicians.
He wanted softball questions. He didn't want no more.
That's my point.
So straight on black issues, and he's gonna answer.
That's my point. And that's why I say how are we picking these leaders? I think that we're too infatuated with celebrity in this country. Mm-hmm. I think that we look too deep into, like I say, who they are and not what they do. To be able to interview and ask questions to political candidates running to be maybe the next president of the United States of America should be something that is done by a serious person in that field.
Oh, you mean a person who isn't making not a buffoon of themselves, but a person who isn't
isn't a joke. Isn't a joke. Even if you're animated, you could be animated, but
T.I. in that room.
I wouldn't have took T.I.
T.I. know how to talk though. He's a joke.
Yeah, T.I.'s just as big of a.
Thank you. I said I would
not
as
over
Cardi B.
Over Cardi B.
He should have been the first choice.
Over Cardi B.
Yes.
I mean, I would. There's so many people. I would have said Robert Kelly. Not that Robert Kelly. The Robert Kelly on not that Robert Kelly. There's a podcast called Best Case Scenario. Yeah, Robert watching, and I would send him. I would have sent him in there before I sent Cardi B because he has a.
But how old is he? Because she's a millennial.
He's 37, 38, 36, somewhere in that area. But I'm talking about there's more. There's a lot of people who have a firmer grasp on actual politics and policies and things that are going on in the culture. There's a kid that guy. He does the different. He puts together these clips and they're very informative, and he'll talk about history and all this stuff. I forget his name. We were going to interview him on Carl Thomas show. No, it's another guy. I'll think of his name. But there are youngsters out there who have a bevy of knowledge that could have went and done these interviews. But we live in such a celebrity-driven culture to where they don't even look for the people with the good information or the knowledge on the questions. We look for the biggest entertainer.
Your celebrity is your credentials.
Your celebrity is your credentials, and I think that is. But I think it's dangerous because we never get no substance. We don't get no substance, and then even when they go debate, we don't get no substance. We don't get no substance.
You mean? Because the debate last night.
Well, it was a debate last night.
There was the Democratic National Convention's debate was held at the illustrious Texas
Southern University. And no, see, I don't even know it was last night.
Right, and they made a big thing about why would you guys have
Well, the thing is, the DNC is very smart. It must have been a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't want nobody to hear. Why would they televise it the same night as 2 Monday Night Football games?
Kamala Harris was the only person on the panel that went to an HBU.
Okay.
So I was thinking about it. She technically qualifies as one of our leaders.
Because she went to
because of how
black college, a historically black college,
as a politician, and her background. Now,
okay.
She's not ADOS, but that don't mean that she's not, capable of caring about black
She's
issues.
Not ADOS. I heard it come out your mouth.
But the thing is, she's Pan-African. She's a Pan-African, so it doesn't matter. We all are part of the diaspora.
Okay, now being a part of the diaspora, as a prosecutor, she prosecuted the diaspora
She said she was sorry.
When she said she was sorry?
I don't know. I'm speaking.
When she said she was sorry, I say that Kamala Harris should have ran as Republican. People say, Tyrone, why did you say that?
She might have maybe.
Well, I think Kamala Harris is a leader in my definition of a leader. Okay, if we're going to talk about leaders, if being popular make you a leader, then we have a lot of leaders. So I'm going to throw that out the window. I'm going to talk about my definition of a leader. To me, Kamala Harris cannot be a leader, my leader. And then I see somebody on there says, I only follow God. I understand that. When I'm talking about just somebody that you are willing to let go to bat for you here in the earthly realm. Somebody who, that you might want to listen to, take some advice with, rock with, agree with. And if you don't agree with them, you understand and try to get to some type of resolve. But they're trying to push whatever your agenda, your beliefs forward. So that's what I mean. So I'm not talking about somebody that you'll just drink Kool-Aid for and die. Well, that's not the leader I'm talking about. And so when I'm talking about Kamala, I say for me, she couldn't be a leader because I think that she does whatever it takes, and she'll say whatever to get where she wants to go. She was a firm prosecutor, and she prosecuted the way she did because that's what was helping her get re-elected. That's what was helping her get those jobs.
The crime committers.
No, it was the tough on crime policy was very popular. Although she's from California, and people think that California is just a liberal bastion, just where all liberals live. California has a very big conservative part to it. Very big conservative part to it. And so for her to be getting elected and getting these jobs in California, she had to appease that part.
So you think now if she gets elected to be president, she gonna switch up?
No, I don't think she's gonna switch up. I think she's gonna do whatever she did to get elected if she were.
Of the United States.
President of the what? Yeah, I think no, Kamala Harris. So in my definition of a leader, she could not be a leader because she changes like soiled underwear.
Oh wow. I was gonna say chameleon, but okay.
Soiled drawers.
You have to be a black person to be a leader in the black community.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah.
Okay?
Because that's where you're.
So you have to be a black person.
So if you're a white person, you want to help and try to change.
So you have to be black.
A white person that has black friends
and
here's
she said he wanted a white savior.
Here's how black people say the black community is going on like that, and they want to help y'all. They want to help us out. They can't be somebody that comes to the neighborhood.
I mean, you could be. That's called being an ally.
He wasn't playing.
That's an ally. Yes, there are many allies.
Look,
but you are not a leader. You cannot
Alicia, I could tell. Even if you tell me you don't. What ADOS videos you been watching? Your language. Somebody you been talking to?
Oh, internet. I've been banned on my main page for like 26.
Because you are using the ADOS,
because a lot of
I can hear the like a lot of the talking points. I don't want to say talking points in a negative way, but I'm just saying I hear it, and we're going to have a discussion about
because
that.
A lot of us don't pay attention to politics. A lot of people I know where I'm from, they don't give a doggone about none of that.
Okay.
And so it's my job as a comedian, as an actor, to kind of absorb as much as I can and then put it in plain speak for people. That's the little, like you're saying, like leaders, you can only do your little, corner.
Okay.
That is a leader, you know what I mean? You can affect your little circle, your little room.
Is Beyonce a leader?
Listen.
Listen.
She is married to someone who is...
Is Beyonce a leader?
To mass incarceration.
What?
Mass incarceration is a very important...
What did he do to change mass incarceration? What Jay-Z do to...
Free
what? Free Meek.
Oh my God. Meek shouldn't have been in jail. He should have got his money and sat down somewhere.
Well, he was on probation for quite some time, which was...
And he violated probation.
Right.
Those are rules.
Should he have been on that long, though? You know what I mean?
If you wouldn't have broke the rules in
unfair.
the first place, you wouldn't have went to jail to get on
Well, we
probation.
was just talking about Kamala Harris over-prosecuting.
Prosecuting.
So, I mean, that's a...
Check this out. Let's say like this. Even in the black community, if you're trying to do something, if you're a different color, you're going to get rained on by black people.
Mm-hmm.
That Rachel lady, the one that said
do we go
Rachel
to
Dolezal. Rachel Dolezal.
She went to an HBCU. Why she
do
can't
we go and white folks like trying to help them get better and fix their life?
She was.
Yeah, a lot of black people do. Yeah. A lot of people do. Right?
So I'm just saying. So white people can't help black people.
I mean, they can be allies. Yes, you can help, but you got to be genuinely. And everybody ain't genuine.
This is why.
So you can't be a white person and be a leader in a black community. Tim
lady,
Wise.
Okay, no, but this lady, she went overseas to the Africa, the continent. She went to a country, I forget where it was, but she opened up a hospital. This lady wasn't no surgeon, doctor, medical student or first, but she was in there literally operating on people, and at least 90 people died as a result of her interference.
I heard about that.
And then you know what she did?
What?
She back over here, and they won't let them extradite this murderous white woman. That's
Really?
what I've seen.
I would like to say
Stories and stories and stories. They're not gonna get prosecuted, but she wanted the hell.
that is a terrible thing that happened. I understand she had a good heart to help.
No, she good now.
Why didn't
Malicious.
people ask to see some kind of paper? Like, I'm
Can I
serious.
see a-
Because
Can I
we
see
see
a
white people
license?
coming, and we can trust them.
No, who said
Who
that?
said that?
They did.
The
They
people that trusted white people got us over here.
clearly.
I don't
My
trust any
point.
white people. I
Why
hang
they-
out with them.
They are allies and not leaders.
You hang out with
I
them?
don't trust my own brothers and sisters. So I mean,
They don't
this
trust you
is
because you
blood.
steal.
Hey, if you steal, you kill. I don't trust nobody. Listen,
Hey.
what I'm saying, you gotta ask questions. That's why I say people just say, "Oh, she's here to help and she gonna build this hospital." That lady was back crazy.
She was like 20 something.
Yeah,
she
and
just
she
saw
was- and
in
they-
this lofty idea
Uh-huh.
of how to be
Uh-huh.
a humanitarian,
Uh-huh.
and she went and just
She
tried
went,
to
cause
help.
she went somewhere where they knew
Because she knows she
they
can do
needed
that
help
over
and they
here in
wasn't gonna ask
Sunnyside.
questions.
Look,
Right. Look, hold on. I want to get back to this real quick because we kind of
sorry, my bad.
What else? Okay, we started off with is Beyonce a leader, and you said she's a leader because she's married to somebody who's helping, and you said that Jay-Z is helping with criminal reform because he helped Meek Mill. Okay, what else is he doing? I know they have an initiative that they're putting together. What else are they doing?
Halftime shows.
He's been giving money to people that are like wrongfully, like he's been trying to help people.
I
with
seen
legal
he helped. I seen he
That's what I've seen.
Yeah,
Most.
I've seen he's helping people with legal counsel
In America.
In
now.
America.
Overseas, they do like water
and
pumps and stuff like
and
that.
I also seen that not just the legal counsel. I seen he bailed a whole bunch of men out of jail on Father's Day or something like that.
Yeah.
And so those things I do. I give him a
How do you pick
round
and
of
choose
applause.
who you bet out though?
pick and choose. Now
Right, good
now
letter,
listen.
You
Now
better have a good character.
Now-
You have to be guilty and get out.
now let me
on
say
bail.
something. When it comes to Meek Mill, I think a lot of what Alicia said is correct. I do think that he was over prosecuted in the first place. I agree with you as well. He was on probation. And I also think that Meek Mill was okay. People don't get mad at me. If you got a tomato in your hand, put it down, cut it up, put it in a salad, don't throw it at me. Yeah, tomatoes. You know, don't people, you guys are the comedians, don't people throw tomatoes?
I wish
Tomato.
they would.
I think Meek Mill, I think getting him out of jail was a very PR friendly thing to do because it got a lot of popularity. Robert Kraft was in the pooper. Robert Kraft was in the pooper with the African American community because remember everybody was mad because his allegiance to Donald Trump, the whole Colin Kaepernick thing where he wouldn't give him a chance, some of his views, the way he would speak up, the way his team, they wouldn't take a knee, his whole view, he was in the pooper without the scooper. And what did he do? He got with Jay-Z and him and Jay-Z decided they wanted to go get who out of jail? Meek Mill. Now we have millions of black men in jail, but they gonna get the most popular one. Then Robert Kraft sits him in the owner's box and you start seeing good old Meek Mill from Philadelphia at New England Patriots games.
Well, he has
everywhere.
a platform. They can do more with Meek Mill
They can-
than they can do with some random dude in jail.
No.
They can
No,
get
no,
a
no,
job at the stadium.
I
That'll work.
don't believe that. I believe
But-
Robert Kraft's platform
But
is
who
no.
he
I
gonna
think
reach?
I think anybody. If Robert
somebody that
Kraft,
can change
if
the
Robert
game.
Kraft and Jay-Z put their name and energy behind anybody, those people would have a platform. In my humble opinion. But hold on 1 second. I think. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That is a good thing. I'm always happy when somebody gets out. I love it when people get out. I love it to see people get out. You know what I'm saying? And walk free.
Throw 'em apart.
Yeah.
Welcome home,
And
baby.
I love too, because I have heard somebody tell me this. I had a cousin of mine tell me this. He said it was amazing. He said, and I felt him. He said, somebody in our family got out of jail a couple weeks before I graduated from college, and everybody threw him a party. I graduated from college, and everybody was like, "Hey, welcome home." So
Whoa.
I think that we need to celebrate both things. But I am happy when I do see people get out of jail, especially when they don't deserve to be in jail. So Meek Mill, I am glad for it, but I do think that was a very great PR move. Because there's a lot of people, to me, John, I understand, and Alicia, I understand Meek Mill have a platform, but I think a bigger message would be to do that amongst thousands of innocent men and who don't have a big platform and keep it moving. That's how you change things systemically.
Is that possible?
Yeah, they got
to be able to
do
that. Are the Republican judges really finna be like,
yeah? Robert Kraft, Jay-Z, they have billions of dollars, and it's no, he's not. Meek Mill, I don't think he'll ever go to jail again. The people, you know why? Because the people he has behind him, and the people he has behind him, and I agree with. I think you were going to say he has been exposed to billionaires who he have on the palm of his hand. There's no need to make a bad decision. Robert Kraft, look, I'll make you look good. you put on my chain. Keep signing them checks. You know what I'm saying? They have moved on to another echelon.
For a lot of people to make decisions, they make what they do.
I get it. Human nature is dumb, but not when you got $1 billion purse behind you, multiple billions of dollars. You have people who are leaning into you as a leader and as a status symbol now. He has no reason, and I get it. But Meek Mill, he doesn't strike me as a dumb guy. And like I said, I'm agreeing with Alicia. Recidivism, yes. I think he won't. I agree with you. I think he was over prosecuted in the first place. He was doing a Papa Willie in the music video, and now was against his probation or something like that, or he was in a different city. They want to take him to jail. Blah blah blah. You know,
like jail.
Yeah, go to jail. And so I think that was over prosecuted. And so, but I do, and so I look at that Jay-Z when he's going to go bail people out of jail. I notice that it's normally very high profile cases or rappers. And so I get it. I get it. No, unfortunately, maybe they are to some people.
They should have been.
Should they be? I think if rap wasn't corrupted and co-opted by rappers always wanted money. Rap has always kind of been about competition, wanting to have things. And wanting to have things is not a bad thing. But I think when people of other... I think when white people got involved with it, I'm just going to be very frank here. Mm-hmm. I think that's when it changed.
Because they had... What is the word somebody called Eminem and say he homogenized rap? But that was a lie.
Well, Eminem, different story, different day. I think
they had to make it mass, appealing.
Mass appealing. I think when we lost control of the narrative, whenever you lose control of the narrative and somebody else gains control of the narrative, and then they push the narrative towards whatever's going to make them the most money, you have officially lost. And I think that happens a lot of times, and that's what when we're talking about leaders, I think sometimes with leaders, they get co-opted with money, and the money becomes the leadership, and at that point, you have officially taken the biggest of L's.
But that's all that's in, DC.
Yeah, money.
Distinguished Gentleman was the best movie ever.
The Distinguished Gentleman. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And that's when I was like, I don't trust none of them dudes up there.
Well, you know what? It's very hard to find a politician that seems honest or will stay honest being in politics for more than 1 minute. I think there's a few. I do think there's a few. And again, one day I think we might have to come down and talk about that list. It's a very short list. I can say it in one deep breath. But there are a few. Why you look like that?
Well, I was just saying, now you do have a lot of rappers getting into politics because we got Scarface running.
We have Scarface running. That's a leadership move. Brad Jordan.
That a lot more of the actual educated rappers should actually get into politics.
Alicia, I'm so glad you said that.
They know a lot of people. If you listen to real rappers, lyricists,
so glad.
Like Sugar Free, because every time I see you turn up, you
Sugar Free. Hey, look. You can't talk to us about Sugar Free because Sugar Free is a rap genius. I don't care. And look, and this is the Pomona piece. Don't let me catch it right there off a hope.
He ain't no leader.
Look. I
He believed in all them women in water.
I put a chain on a flea, hook it to a tree, and tell that little thing to pull.
That's what I said. He said
you're dead.
He said he want a woman that got so much faith in him. He tell you to hook a flea to a
tree,
get a chain, and hook his little brother,
and pull.
Don't ask me any questions about. Oh, it ain't
that's my buddy. That's my pal.
Right,
We're not gonna. I am taking favoritism on a celebrity that I like. Forget it.
No,
but no, look, Free. Look,
like nah.
Sugar Free has never tried to be. Sugar Free has never tried to be or proclaim to be a black leader. And he have a song on his last album where he talking about. He say we need to stop making excuses.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. That's something, that goes contrary to being woke. And
anytime people like, I'll give excuses and they're like, I'm sorry, but that's an excuse. You
Well-
gotta throw out an excuse out your mouth.
well, you know what? I do think we need to take responsibility. We also need to recognize the role that European Eurocentric society have played in to where we are as a people. I think both things can happen at the same time. I think we have to make sure that we are trying to progress forward. Why you got that look in your face? You looking at me?
I'm thinking.
Who's that peeping in my window? Nobody now. What you thinking about?
No, what you were saying, just about the rapper leader.
Rappers, leaders.
Coming about.
The rappers, leaders. I think there's some rappers that can be leaders. I don't want to throw all rappers in the same pot either, because
They got skeletons.
some rappers, David
That's probably
Banner,
why they don't
and
get it.
again,
Yeah.
and
Killer
people
Mike, of course.
see Killer Mike.
Killer Mike is a gun advocate.
Killer Mike is to me. Oh, here come
That's a
those
big old dude.
tomatoes.
There you go.
Killer Mike to me advocates too much for far left wing policies. Like, I'm not gonna just say far left wing.
You like
Killer
legalize
Mike.
marijuana?
No, not legalize marijuana. You know what I mean? Like, somebody gonna be like, Tyrone, shut up. Did you watch his show? His show started being more about the LGBT community than it was about black people. And with Killer Mike, he has a tendency of doing that, taking things that are about black people and kind of mingling it in with everybody else, and then taking the nectar for black people out of it, and then it becomes a us instead of a black thing. Killer Mike is very good, and he has that popularity, but to where people don't notice it. But Killer Mike does that all the time. Look at the show, and then he go put out something, Cripa-Cola and blood.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode.
Then he go to Atlanta, but go to LA where the Bloods and the Crips originated. But then again, what are you putting out there? I understand the idea, I get it, but I mean, if we want gangbanging again, let's just stop perpetuating it. Period. Point blank. Let's not put out soda so you could go to the hood and select which ones you want to get. Which one? Yeah, with the Cripa-Cola.
Yeah.
I watched the episode. I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
I watched the whole
I
thing.
mean, those young men, they weren't complete morons,
Not at all. Not at all.
They bought a drink called Cripa-Cola.
I mean,
They made a drink, and I get it. I get the
they were
entrepreneurial
marketing
thing.
and reimagining, trying to help people reimagine the idea of gang members, because it's not.
He wanted to
initially what
brand
was.
it because the Hell's Angels, they are branded and they sell products and things of that
But
nature.
they definitely was killing people.
And they was definitely killing people. And so he's trying to incorporate that. And so I get that. That part I respect. And like I said, two things can happen. I cannot agree with everything Killer Mike said and still agree with a lot of things that he says.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Okay, you're ADOS, right?
Oh yeah.
He's perfectly okay with black people not getting reparations.
I mean, I think what scares most people about reparations is they think it's gonna be some magical check that all black people are just gonna get money. And
$47.95.
it's not that. It's more so.
I don't know.
Not just intangibles as well. You know what I mean? Like certain. My biggest issue with that, which would help other millennials, is student loan debt. That needs to go.
Look,
that
check
needs
this
to be a
out.
Part of the ADOS agenda.
Look, Bobby Urban says, we have to stop looking at our enemies for help or think they'll change. We need to become independent as people and do our thing.
That's not
Yeah,
happening. Every black person say that. We need to, as a people, we need to come together, and then it's the same black person gonna walk across the street and start a fight with another black person because they don't like the way they looking or something.
Well, you know what? A lot of that has.
But then you come in.
I agree with a lot of what he just said. I agree.
They gonna beat me up.
I agree with a lot of what he just said. You know what? I want to do this. I want to play a song. I want to come back and we're going to switch up. We're going to talk a little bit more about what Bobby just said. And we're going to talk a little bit more about independence and the possibility of independence and what does that mean. See, today we're not going over a bunch of headlines today. That's what you're going to get everywhere else. You're going to get whatever's trending. You know what? We're going to talk about today right here on Soapbox Heroes. We are going to talk about what affects us. We are making the trend for today, so maybe for the rest of the day, you guys could go and have these conversations, and we could do what my boy Salik Wahib L says and build. So, hey, you guys, we're going to go ahead and play something. J. Roy, turn it up in my ear. We'll be right back in a couple minutes.
No, it's
Hey, you refill that with tap water?
avian.
He asked her if she refilled it up with tap water.
I know tap water.
Hey, I'm with you, Bobby.
It's just it's natural spring water from the French Alps.
This is natural spring water.
John say it ain't
Your
possible.
American sink.
You just don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Do I trust you? You ate the wrong with your
Is it possible for black people to build our own infrastructure or to be more independent, Bobby? Salik? Do you guys think that that's a possibility? And if so, what would be the steps in achieving that? You got it. You got it.
You check the
Check both boxes.
What I'm saying, did you check online?
It said delivered at 3:39 yesterday, and I went outside at 3:35 when nobody had the mailbox.
3:39. Oh, that means it's on. That was yesterday.
They got delivered to the mailbox yesterday. It say delivered to.
Do your mailbox have a big
Let me
mailbox?
tell you what happened. That person is probably gonna get fired because they quit. They just did that on that PLS.
Yeah,
And they just said that they.
wait by the mailbox. Like, yo,
No, just call up there and say I need to speak to my mail carrier because it's only one.
No, it was
And
two
they,
yesterday.
well, I'm saying it's only one mail carrier, and they know who you are, and they got your box. No, if it got delivered, it would have never left. If they knew what was in there, it would have never left the north side plant, the big plant where they store.
Hey, delivered.
He has a Bible study class he's trying to start.
Oh, yeah, John in his Bible study class.
He has some Bibles delivered. And, see, that's what you get for trying to help a black man.
See what happened?
That's how black people go to jail.
No, I got that shit in the car, I think.
Play no games, play no games. You're rational.
Huh?
Like I see you dressed like my mama right now.
What's up, cuz? Watch out,
Like,
your mama got
Hey,
flat.
why y'all keep cousin? I'm not related to y'all.
Hell, you ain't even from the city.
Wow, I'm from Blue Ridge, Texas.
I don't know what that said. You just scared me. You got a knife on you?
I always have a knife on me. I don't trust niggas.
You always have a knife on your belt buckle like that?
No, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's...
She keep the knife. That's
Under
what
my
happens.
stomach,
Where you from? You from the north side?
No, I'm from the south.
You from the south side. So you keep a knife on you.
Well, I'm a
All you
girl.
hear
I'm
is,
around a lot by
sirens in the
myself. You know what I'm
background
saying?
talking about-
I'm an only child, so I'm always pretty much alone.
So you
You gotta have your head on the swivel because these niggas run up on you in broad
Your
daylight.
head
You're
definitely looks like you stay on the swivel.
swivel
Yeah,
on
yeah,
a white
Like
yeah,
a swivel I
yeah.
stick outside the window of your car.
Shut up,
Hey,
crusty.
what
Crusty
what
clown.
you going somewhere tonight?
I seen a new open mic.
I seen one too last week. Where's that? Off of Eldridge? Oh, that's on Wednesday.
No, it's one downtown.
I ain't going downtown, bro.
Are you tripping?
It's a couple on my side.
What?
It's the one at Showtime. Let's go to Showtime on 45.
What's up, Salik? What's up, fam?
Showtime.
Hey, you guys. Coming up, we're gonna talk about sitting at the table. So we always talk. My phone don't want to stay on the table. My phone fell because of John's breath. You can say it. She cut you early, John. Early.
The water was cold.
The lunchtime cut time. It's the lunchtime slice and dice going around. She said my phone fell because the adhesive glue part won't stick because John's breath.
Niggas out here cutting, or you hit the barbershop early.
Watch out, man. I'm
Ooh.
growing mine back on the side.
Ooh, you growing it back on the side.
At least all my hair.
You got hella kitchen around your head.
George, you hear him over here?
It's all on
Comic view.
You say the kitchen's supposed to be in the back, nigga, not around
Where you
the
brush
sides.
your clippers
The
all
kitchen.
around
What's
here?
the kitchen? Where we at?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, let me look that mic up. There's always carrots.
You're my older crust. You can't even get it off. By the time you get that, it knocks you out.
What's going on? We are back. We are back. We are back. Round table politicking, gum bumping, doing our thing, teeth chattering, whatever you want to call it. We filling up the airwaves with conversations that need to be had. We are having it live, direct, right here in your ear. And if you are on Facebook, in your face. And if you are listening, make sure that you get over to the Soapbox Heroes channel on YouTube. Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you know when we doing our thing. All right. Also, we are working on the online streaming radio to where you can stream and hear our team do our thing when we are not right here in front of you on KHSX Power 101.5. We keep our gums bumping. We have other people, other programs, with other things to say. So if you like this, if you enjoy this, then you will enjoy the other people who come on and do shows. We do topics and we stay on point. We have a bunch of different perspectives and thought processes, and so there's something for everybody. Oh yeah, there's something for everybody, and the app will be up in less than 1 week, so it'll be right there at the palm of your fingers, the Soapbox Heroes app. Oh, it's all love. We just trying to spread our wings and fly. John hates it when I sing. He grinds his teeth, and that's why I sing for you. I'm gonna get back to it. We was talking about, what was you gonna say, Alicia? What?
Stomach start hurting all of a sudden.
When I start singing, your stomach should feel better. Ooh, woo, woo. You dig? You don't need a shovel to dig that. So look, we were talking earlier about leaders, black community. I want to stay on the topic, and I'm gonna bring it in like this. I'm gonna bring it in just a little bit different. Earlier on Facebook, Bobby made a comment pretty much saying that, why do we keep going to other people thinking that they gonna save us? And so recently, in the last couple weeks, we've had the whole Jay-Z signing with the NFL. And to bring change to the halftime show and to entertainment in the NFL, and he took over an initiative that the players already had in place to go out and do things for the community. And so the argument was, is he a sellout? Is he not a sellout? Yada, yada, blah, 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 blah. Those were the arguments. And then I would hear some people say, well, you can't affect change without a seat at the table. And when people said that, my immediate thought was, well, you can affect change by making your own table. All right? And people say, well, Tyrone, you can't make an NFL. You can't make it. And I say, why? Why can you not? I think the reason people think we can't is because we say that we can't. And so my thoughts on this is this. I don't think we always need to sit at somebody else's table, because when we sat at the lunch table back in the day, what happened?
Got beat in the head.
Got beat in the head. They took our money, left us with crumbs.
Lunch table.
The lunch table, you know, see.
The lunch counter.
The lunch counter. I always talk of the sit-ins, and I call it the lunch table in my own little small brain.
We gonna sit at this table. Oh,
yeah.
no, you not.
Yeah, that's prison talk. This ain't our table, no. The lunch counter. When we sat at the lunch counter, let me be historically correct with my vocabulary.
Integration is, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Was it necessary? So you saying now we don't need integration? Now we need independence? Now we need to just go buy, I don't know, Georgia?
Yeah.
Move
You
all
know,
the black people in America
no, I'm not saying to move all the black people in America to one place. I'm not saying to do none of that. I'm saying you can stay right there where you are. But we need to start.
We need those communities though. Greenwood
Well,
is gone.
okay, Greenwood could be gone. You cyber. We got the internet. We just have to do things together.
Okay.
We have to believe that we can. And when I say things like sit at the table, okay, sitting at the table with the NFL, regardless, let's say it does start helping black people, it's still going to help who more?
White people.
The NFL.
White people.
Yeah. Regardless, you can't get around that.
They gonna always
You can't get around that. You can't get around that. And so my thing is, Ice Cube is coming out with he has the 3-on-3, the big three. Things can be done. It takes big ideas, but the people who have the idea, who have the capital, the cachet, the swagger, and the backing to do it, you know what they always do? They go sit at somebody else's table. And that to me just takes away from our own power. It's like, how are we going to do anything if we keep trying to sit at somebody else's table? I understand sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But sometimes we need to start building our own tables. Or what, John? What you got?
I believe a lot of people may try to put up deals with their own people. But we all know that you cannot get a group of black people to work together to save their own life. Yeah.
Well, see, we have the 3-on-3. I'm using that as really almost like a case study.
Okay.
We're watching it.
Yeah, the big three is dope. Don't get me wrong. The big three is dope. I think it's cool.
And have they had any problems with the national anthem?
No, they haven't.
You know why?
Listen, check us out.
All right.
The thing that's wrong with the big three is it's not really helping the black community to show that we can finally do something on that level. Now, what I see is a lot of black celebrities may go out and buy 10 houses here or 100. Warwick Dunn was
Warwick Dunn, yeah.
Warwick Dunn,
and that's dope. What
like 100. He gave away his 145th house. If one black person give 145 houses away,
right?
If all black people, and he don't have as much money as a lot of these other people do, if they got together and had one big organization, a lot more houses could be given away. But instead, everybody want to go do their own venture by themselves and either because him giving away houses is not really making him back money too much.
Look,
he can write them off.
John, real quick. To that, everybody want to go do their own venture because I truly believe a lot of people, they're doing these things. It's not because they actually care about affecting change. They care about the optics. They care about the optics. People don't understand now that being social justice is popular. You are getting paid, and people don't understand how it goes. When you build your status and you build your reputation, that's like money. That's like money. These are power moves. This trust. So to me, it's the people who move in silence but do big things. The people who are trying to change things systemically that are doing them. And I'm just giving an ode to what you're saying about the people who go like the Warwick Dunns, who are moving in silence but going and literally changing lives. Not because not to make his own personal wealth grow. Because you always got to watch it. A lot of these people do it in the height of their career or when they're starting to fade, and then you watch them, they jump right back on. Yeah, Jay-Z, he helped a couple guys. He helped a lot of people get out of jail. He went and helped Meek Mill, and then what do you know? The NFL want to deal with him. So was it strategic? Was it business? Because it's like this. It's like this. Alicia, John, like you guys so much that I'm going to take you guys to lunch every single day for the next year, wherever we want to go. Steaks, lobster, crab.
What's the catch?
What's the catch? Look.
What's the catch?
Look, I'm going to tell you this. The catch is this. We have another person in the room, and I'm trying to impress him. This really has nothing to do with you guys. Really has nothing to do with you guys. I just know making this grand gesture out loud would make me look good.
Right.
And when I make this grand gesture out loud and I look good in return, what happens? That other guy in the room is looking at me like, oh, look at him. He's a really good guy. And that other guy is the guy who's bigger than me that can offer me a deal. So before I knew what I was doing before I did it. I don't like y'all that much. Y'all think I'm about to buy y'all lunch every day.
Be like, what's up? I left all these people.
These things are strategic. It's called business. It's called politicking.
And that's what I be saying when people are, oh, Jay-Z, he in control now. Now we got to see more of this and more of that. Like, dude, he not helping nobody directly. You just about to see more entertainment. He helped himself. If he do something like, oh, I'm going to have all black people work the halftime show, you can't do that anyways. But
if he's doing something like that, like he own some of the Barcade Center?
No, not anymore. No, he owns 0.15%.
Apparently, he was by bringing them there, he was helping to gentrify
his community.
much quicker.
Yeah, did he? Look. This is what they did. See, where the Barclays Center is, there's a lot of darker people there.
Darker hue.
Darker hue. And so what they did was, they said,
yeah, everything is more.
very much more expensive. They said very much more. I don't know if that's a real term. They said, the Barclays Center said, well, look, we want to put the stadium here, but we have a small impediment. We have these Negroids.
They're just
scattered out over here.
Don't worry, I got him, and he was out there like,
ho! You see what I'm saying?
And he just lifted up his hands, and then all the projects.
And so what they did was they made it as if he was like a huge owner. They started putting him on billboards. They started painting things with him on it. They put him on it. He got to rapping about how he owned it, and he really owned 0.15% of the Brooklyn Nets.
But it's too late now. He done ran off. Now what you gonna do? It's like a comment.
They used him to make people comfortable.
How much you think he got paid to get the people up out of there? To wrap the people up out of there?
A lot. How much you think he's getting paid for the NFL? You see what I'm saying? And so I mean, it is what it is.
Better watch out. The Jay-Z Stadium is coming near your neighborhood soon. Be ready to move.
But see, again, that's where it goes to. Where I'm trying to say is a lot of people do things just like they set up their moves. We do it even on a smaller level, and we don't understand it. We look, people that'll go and hey, I got this for you today, boss. And every now and then got a present for the boss. It's not really because they like their boss. That sound antebellum South. That sounded new slave. Huh? Look, but but there's a lot of people who will do that. You set up your moves. And I don't understand why people don't understand it when we look at certain people. We be like, well, they did this, this, and this. And sometimes in my mind, I say, well, they were setting up moves.
Did you ever see him again?
People who say that are hypocrites.
They were setting up moves, John.
Everybody sets up moves. A man sets up his moves to have sex with a woman.
Yeah, oh, baby, that dress you got on looks so good.
You gotta pump all those compliments in. You gotta make the right moves and make sure you step on the bricks.
That's right.
Yeah, girl.
You ain't trying to mess it up from.
He said, "Step on the bricks that ain't loose."
When a man wake up in the morning,
did you hear that?
When a man wake up in the morning, he be like, "I'm trying to have sex with my girl later. I gotta do everything right, so not to piss her off, so I can
right."
Everything
And I'm not only saying politicians are running game. I'm saying celebrities run game as well. And being woke and being black and being an activist is lucrative. And when people say lucrative, they be like, well, you don't get paid when you tweet. And I have to explain it like this. Even if they're not getting paid when they tweet, they're getting the attention from the tweet. Attention brings what? Followers. Followers brings eyes. Eyes brings more visibility for whatever it is that you're about to sell.
While y'all here, I would like to...
Yes.
Yeah, this has got me thinking, and everybody tune into my new internet church next week called Cash App in Christ.
Cash App in Christ. On the internet church, Cash App in Christ.
Hey, why you playing? I know two preaching. I know one is a preaching family. This man and his wife, and I know this other preacher. And that's literally what it is. They literally be praying like on screen and like talking to you and blessing you, and the money they just be getting money like.
When I go to churches, I see
that people pay.
When I go to the churches, like,
you know what? Look! Hold on,
PayPal,
John. Okay, again. When we were talking about leaders, I'm going to just go back. When you said that you see people, they're just praying through the internet and their prosperity, preaching and all that, and people
praying,
are just
P-R-E-Y.
Yeah, praying, P-R-E-Y.
Definitely.
Yes, and people are just showering them with money. You know why? Because a lot of people need something to believe in. A lot of people need leaders.
So just $18.95, you too can have some of my holy sanitizer. We can send it in bottles. Smaller than this. This is the deluxe model.
Oh my God, it's half empty.
Yeah, because I've been passing out a lot of clean blessings.
I've been
sanitizing a lot of these evil hands out here.
Oh my God. your hands to see how much easier.
Yeah, though.
That's what they do, though.
Yeah.
And they be getting everybody's grandma.
Yeah. Gullible. Some people need something to believe in. Some people need a leader. And so that's why I say I think we do need leaders. I think we need leaders because we need good examples as well. We have so many bad examples. Sometimes you need to blunt that brute force with a good example.
So Barack Obama wasn't a leader.
He was.
Is he still considered a leader for contention for black people?
Right? I don't think Barack Obama wants to be a leader for black people.
He never did.
And so if you want to bring it down to being a leader for black people, I think our older generation designates him as a black leader automatically because he was a black president. I think I think people about 42 down are kind of like, well, he may be a leader, but I don't think Barack Obama himself wants to be a black leader. He's not out there on the front lines of black issues.
He is on the front line for the LGBT.
For the LGBTQ.
This is what I said about
Okay.
Barack. He showed young black kids that if you speak correctly and you know how to talk and you can carry yourself the right way, you can do anything in this world, which is be the president of the United States.
I agree with that.
That's what he taught a lot of black people.
I agree with that.
Stop saying
hope?
And
stop saying you can't do what white people have been saying we can't do for years. Look, I did it.
Well, you know what, John?
Hope and change.
But look, in that aspect, I agree with you because I am very much like that. I do believe I have, you know what, me and a couple of my buddies, we were talking about that the other day, and I said, I believe people could do whatever they want to do. And their point is, well, it's hard for some people and some people will just never be able to do it. But I don't think that way. I think you can. I think the people in the hardest and most destitute of situations, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that you won't have to climb hills that other people don't have to climb. I'm not saying you won't have to be able to climb hills while other people sleep.
You might not even survive.
You might not even survive, but you can do it. And that's my opinion. I think even people with nothing can try and strive. And the thing about that is, if you try and you don't quite make it, I guarantee you will be a lot further and a lot better off than you would be if you didn't try. And so that's my ideology on that. I don't believe that because I know the system as a whole has pressed down on black people.
It breeds hopelessness in us.
It
It's hard
breeds
to come out of that, even
hopelessness. But my thing
that's
is
why
like,
there's so many able-bodied black people under the freeway.
okay, what did you say?
They
Able-bodied.
believe, though. When you say people breathe that you can't do nothing in it, you believe that. When you inhale that, you be like, you know what? They might be right.
It becomes
the
a
only person
belief.
standing in your way from doing anything is yourself and your mind. If you have a weak mind where somebody says, you can't do this because of this and that, and you start hearing it, it should actually drive you to work harder. But a lot of people be like, man, they so discouraged and this, that. And then they'll give up on the way, and then they'll blame everybody else for them giving up. Right. Like, oh, school's hard, and I'm busy, and I'm a student, and I got this and that and that. Let me tell you something. My mama went to school. She had 6 kids, but had helped raise another 2, and she was a full-time nurse, was in full-time PTA, made it to all of our basketball. That's a lot. If everybody in my family plays sports, and I've never heard my mama say one time, I'm tired or I can't do this. My father was the same way.
Of course, she felt that way, and of course,
she felt that way.
She never said it, and never.
You're
not supposed to do that. That's what's important as children.
But these days, people be like, "Oh, if you can't finish it, just don't finish it right now. Come back to it later." Anytime you say, "I'm gonna come back to something later," it's gonna take a long time to get back to it. Yeah. No matter what it. That goes from washing dishes, folding clothes to my career in life. I'm gonna drop out of school right now, but I'll be back. Those are the famous words from everybody.
I finished my last 2 years of college pregnant, so I get it. Well, pregnant and then with an 8-month.
It could be done. And it could be done. I read a story a couple weeks ago, literally. There was a lady. She left, I think it was Senegal, Africa.
Oh, yeah.
She was 7 months pregnant. Walked to the Congo. Begged and collected money from people she knew. And they were taking over her village. They were killing people, displacing them. So she literally walked to the Congo, ended up scraping up money, getting money, flew down to, I think it was Guatemala. The South America as you could get. Walked all the way through South America, hitched rides, walked, and got to the border in San Diego. If she could do it,
Boy, somebody was looking out for her in that back.
if she can do it, I do believe that people could do it. I believe you have to want to. I do believe, and I know that we have it hard. I know it's harder for us. And I know we have a whole bunch of internal issues that we got to work out with ourselves as well as people. But the way that my belief system works is that you can accomplish it. And again, I'm not saying nothing's going to be easy. Anything worth having is not easy. Great things take great work. Great accomplishment takes great work.
You have to have, but see, so we have to have leaders that are talking to the children that can do it, because these grown folks, it's a little too late for them. I'm sorry, their brains are already fried up on the point of that. They can't do it. They're not gonna change. So nothing you can do about it.
And to me,
I don't say right them off.
That's not right though, because it can always.
But the children are so much more important. You need to.
People can't change, but people can't change
because they can't. They done for.
No,
and look,
some people change. Like it does. Some people just take longer than other people. Once you start giving up on somebody,
maturity,
maturation.
Once you realize that people gonna leave you behind, then you.
Some of these people you just have to talk to because they ain't never been talked to like in a real way.
Everybody needs an opportunity to learn.
But see,
even after you don't want to hear it,
and you never gonna change. Like I know people who used to be racist and they are not racist anymore. They was like, oh, I was raised that way, so I thought that was the way I'm supposed to be.
That's why you need multiple kinds of leaders, because I'm not one of those leaders that's like talk to no grown people. I'm good. You good. You are who you are. I'd rather deal with
that was my point earlier. We need multiple types of leaders. And look,
I'm a leader of a man, little man.
And look,
I have to be a good
and John,
example.
I agree with a lot of what Alicia was saying again, that she flips you off because
about to say
I do think that I'm not saying that adults shouldn't be counseled, shouldn't be tried to be reached out to. It is a lot harder, but I do think that there has to be a congregation of people that still does that and always welcome to do it. It's just not you. I get it. But I do see with the kids, and I say the kids because, like I said, I believe that embedded in too many of our minds is that I can't. Mm-hmm. I can't do this because. I can't do that because. And I think we're just pushing that down into the kids where everybody feel like they can't do nothing because the oppressiveness of the world is on us. The people who feel like that.
The ones that you're trying to give up on are the ones that's pushing that on the kids. That's why I say you can't give up on those adults.
Right. You know what?
I mean, you can reach out to them. It
goes both ways. It goes both ways.
I do tell kids, like, you can't be no astronaut because ain't no such thing as space.
Here you go. Here you go. Well, you can be an actor and pretend to be an astronaut.
The stars, and you can look up there like Galileo.
You can do it. You can do it. You know what? You can be a child. You can be a CEO. It might not be easy. I mean, of a Fortune 500 company, and then I know that's 500 companies, and 4 or 5 of them have black CEOs. So I know, again, it might be hard. It might be dang near impossible, but you can do it. And if you can't do it, I mean, if you can do it, and if it's not working, then you'll be able to have the dexterity to build your own lane and do it for yourself. But it's trying is where you get the education to learn. So for me, a leader, and I'm going to end it with this. A leader has to be able to inspire people to believe that they can do things. You can do it. There's too many people out here telling people you can't do this. Oh, it's going to be hard. And I'm going to say it too. Yes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. We go through hard times in the little things that we try to do. Support ain't there. Mm-mm. Money ain't there. Organization ain't there. People caring about what you care about ain't there. But that don't mean that we can't do it. So, hey, you guys, you could do it. We're going to go ahead and hold on. Let me pass it around. Everybody say something to the people before we leave. Say something, Alicia. Say whatever you want to say.
Something, Alicia. Oh, okay.
Okay, John, go ahead.
Hey, if you are interested in theater in the next couple of months, in case you never hear from me again,
what's gonna happen to you?
I mean, I don't know. I might get abducted by aliens or something. They might be coming to get me.
There's no such thing as outer space, so it can be.
Whatever.
Okay.
I'm in a
Why
show.
do you guys keep gangbanging on my show? Cuz. Are you related?
Probably.
All right, go ahead.
His daddy had a lot of kids. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay. You did.
I'm sorry. At least you knew your father. He was a good man. Y'all go to my daddy church again. Anyway,
Okay.
I have a show in October. It's with the Fade to Black series. It's a monologue series, and it's theater. As far as comedy, somebody put me on.
So as far as comedy, somebody put her on. Are you funny?
Of course. We have some open mics, this week.
Am I gonna be in stitches?
It's gonna be
Because when we talk about getting put on, we also gotta realize.
Oh, I can put myself on. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we gotta we gotta feel like you gotta be worth it to the putter owner.
Oh yeah,
whether you get put on.
Every nickel.
Every nickel, even if it's to John. Say something to the people. Here, let me.
You can follow me on IG at JIG. Is it right?
Yeah, I can follow you at IG.
Number 2, the word funny, and the number 15.
That's way too.
It is whack.
That's way
I said it was whack.
I said it was whack. I gotta change my name on there. Get it too.
All right, you guys, look. You could do it. You could do it. You could do it. When the road get rough, just keep on driving. When people want you to shut up, always do things for the people who like you. Don't worry about the people who don't. You know why? Because they don't like you anyway. You can do it. Just keep trucking. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Hey, one time real quick. AJ Roy, the other day last week, I think it was on Friday, you got a prank call. And it was in your messages. I don't know if you heard it, but the person who did the prank call is sitting here right before you, right behind you, right here to the left.
Hey, yo.
And so I just was going to let you know, and you guys are going to be able to hear that prank call. But hey, I want to say welcome home, Bobby. Welcome home, Bobby. Welcome home. Hey, you guys, we about to get out of here. This is Soapbox Hero. Much love. We will get with you guys later. Peace.
You wasn't supposed to snitch.
Who's Bobby? Did I ask? No, you.